Okay, let's simplify these things, okay? We have m to the negative 8th power divided by m to the negative 6th power. Now you got to be smart how you do this. So top, put your operators in, okay? The division line's there. So it's just m with its power. Bottom, m with its power. So make your 3 lines, okay? 3 of them. 2 of them, done with that. Okay, so on top you got m. That's the only base you got. Power's a negative 8, not in parentheses, so I put a negative 8. Then m here, negative 6, put a negative 6. No parentheses, so no multiplying. So we have an m on top and an m on bottom, means we have to cancel. Okay. So cancel the bottom. Or no, not the bottom, excuse me, not this time. Negative 8 is smaller than negative 6. So you cross that out, okay? It's gone. And then you don't just minus 8, you minus negative 8, okay? So we figure out what negative 6 minus negative 8 is, okay? Now, so negative 6, you can plug it into your calculator, that's fine. It's 2 because it's like negative 6 plus 8, so it's 2, positive 2. So you need to cross that out, put a 2 right there, and circle it, okay? So this is all I got, and its power is positive, so that's staying in its position, so m to the 2nd. I don't think that can be simplified, so m to the 2nd. Now anytime we end up with the top empty, you need to cover the top with the number 1. Okay, 1 over m to the 2nd. Okay, next problem. First off, underline it. If the line's not there, you make your own line. So you put your operators in, and then the exponents right there. So I have 5 times x times y. So 5 to the 1, okay? And I take 1 times negative 4, that's negative 4. Then x to the 1, 1 times negative 4, negative 4. Then y to the 1 in parentheses, 1 times negative 4, negative 4. So there's nothing on bottom to worry about. No canceling. So what stays, what switches? Well, 5 to the negative 4th, that's a negative, that's a switch. Okay. So it goes from bottom to top so that its power becomes positive. Switch, because it's negative, so to the bottom, power positive. Switch, goes to the bottom, power positive. Top's empty, bottom, 5 to the 4th, we need to find that. 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625. So this becomes 625, and then the variables, the x to the 4th and the y to the 4th, we just carry those over. Need the top filled up, so put a 1. If the top ends up with nothing, you put a 1. Okay, next problem. X to the 5th times dots there, y to the negative 6 times y to the negative 9 times y to the 9th. So it's all times, so I underline it. So top, I got x times y times x times y. We're just going to write x times y, and when I come across the next x, I add, and the y add. Okay. So let's talk about x. There's got to be 2 of them because you put a plus sign. So the one on the left's to the 5th. There's no parentheses, so I put a 5. Then after it, negative 9. So 5 plus negative 9, that's negative 4. Okay. Negative 4. Then y, there's got to be 2 of them. So I wrote a plus sign. So y to the negative 6th. And y to the 8th. No parentheses, no multiplying, just put the ones that are, drop them down. Negative 6 plus 8 is 2. Okay, so that's it. What stays, what switches? So I've got x to the negative fourth and y to the second. Okay, after all that crap, so negative 4, it's negative, that's a switch to the bottom, so I can write 4, and that's a stay, so y to the second. Okay, top can't be simplified, y to the second. Bottom can't be simplified, x to the fourth. Okay. Can't simplify either one of those because they're both variable bases. Okay, 5 times m to the negative fourth power. If it's to the top right, it's a power. N to the negative 6 power. Okay, so we have 5 times m on top. So figure that out. 1, don't multiply because it's not in parentheses. We just put a 1 down. Don't multiply, not in parentheses. And then we have the n. Don't multiply, not in parentheses. Okay. Now you got something on bottom. Can you cross it out? No, because you don't have n on top. You don't have any n's anywhere but the bottom. So no canceling can be done. Okay. Is that a switch or a stay? That's a stay because it's positive 1. Is that a switch or a stay? That's a switch because it's negative 4. Switch it to the bottom and then you can write it as a 4. And then on bottom, that's a negative power. That's a switch. So it's on bottom. Switching it moves it to the top, and then that allows me to write 6. So 5 to the first would just be a 5. And then times n to the 6th, and then m to the 4th, okay? Simplified. You can't multiply, it's 5 times n. Next problem. So put in the operators. When you come across a power, circle it. Okay. Circle the little powers, okay? So 4 times A times B, all on top. So I put them all on top to start with. 4 times A times B. 4 would be a 1. It's in parentheses. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. A has a negative 2, but it's in parentheses, so we have to multiply negative 2 by negative 2. That's 4. B to the 1 in parentheses, 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Now, you don't have anything on bottom to worry about. Is that a switch or a stay? That's a switch. So now it's 2. Is that a switch or a stay? That's a stay. Stays where it is. Is that a switch or a stay? That's a switch. So you move the B to the bottom, so you can write 2. Okay, on top, can't simplify anything. It's just A to the 4th. Bottom, I can simplify the 4 to the 2. So 4 times 4. You write 2 4s and multiply them. 16. Times B to the second. Okay, you can't multiply there. That's the answer. Okay, next problem. Times, and then that's an exponent, then x and y's times exponent, 7, that 7's not an exponent, times x and exponent. I'll put the 1's later. Okay. So everything's on top. So you have a 5 times an x times a y times a 7 times an x. Since I've already written x, I put a plus sign. Okay. Okay, let's talk about 5. It's to the 1 power. 1 times negative 2 is negative 2. Okay. X, there's got to be 2 of them. That's why you wrote a plus sign. Okay. That's why you wrote that plus sign. Okay. So here's the x on the left, -3. -3 times -2 is 6. So you fill this side of the plus in with a 6. And 3, not done multiply because there's not in parentheses. So what is 6 plus 3? It's 9, okay? Cross that out and put 9. Then y. Here's y. 2 times -2 is -4. Okay, good. Then 7 to the 1. Don't take 1 times 3. It's not in parentheses. We can just put a 1 there. Okay, bottom doesn't have anything. So now the top set, what switches, what stays. That's a negative power. That is a switch. Or no, that's that's a negative. That's a switch. I was right the first time. 5 to the second. Now go back. That's a 9, and it was 6 plus 3, but now it's 9. That's 9 positive, so that stays. X to the 9th. Is that a switch or is that a stay? Oh, that's a switch, because we want a positive 4 exponent. Is that a switch or a stay? Oh, that's a stay. Okay. So on top, x can't be simplified. The 7 to the first can be. That'd be 7. And then you put the x to the 9th behind it. Can't multiply because it's right into a variable. Okay. You can simplify that. 5 times 5, that's 25. Okay. Times y to the 4th. Okay, then I divide if you can. Decimal, you just leave it. Okay. Okay, 2 left, but they're a little bit confusing. This is an x right here. Sorry about the crap writing. Okay. Okay, look at all that. Remember, times with it between fraction lines means it just becomes one big division. So put in the operators. Times power. Then a times. That times is right there. And then a power. So let's take care of our top. 7 times x times y. And then another x means I just add to the first one. Okay. I'll be going to the bottom in a moment. Let me get my top formulated. So 7 to the 1, okay, in parentheses, so 1 times 2 is 2. X, there's got to be 2, that's why we put a plus sign. So here's the x on the left. It's to the 1. 1 times 2 is 2. Now the other x is -8. Now that's on the right, so it's going to be 2 plus -8. 2 plus -8 is -6. So cross that out and put -6. Okay. So now it's x to the -6. Then y, there's only 1. It's to the 1. 1 times 2 is 2. So my top is set. I know all the base 7xy exponents 2, -6, 2. Now bottom, put in your operators. If it's an exponent, you circle it. Times -3 times -6, and then the time, you can put it times there if you want, and then a 3. So x, y, and y. So I'm just writing x times y, and if there's 2 y's, I just add the powers. Okay. So x, -3. Now can I just put -3? Yeah, I can, because the parentheses is only on the top. Okay. The x -3 is not inside of parentheses, so it's just a -3. Okay. Then y, okay, 2 of them. I got a -6 and a 3. Okay, neither of them are in parentheses, so it's just -6 plus 3. -6 plus 3 is -3. So cross that out and put -3. Just put it somewhere so you know what power it's to. Now, can you do some canceling? Well, we got x and x, so that's a -6, that's a -3, okay? -6, -3. Now, if that's too cluttered up, you can cross out. Negative 6 is smaller. That's the one you're going to cross out. If that's too cluttered up for you, come up here and just put x's. So I would get rid of the negative 6, and I would minus, not just 6, it would be minus negative 6. So negative 3 minus negative 6. It's actually plus 6. That's why if you plug that into a calculator, you get 3. Okay, so it's x to the third. The top x went bye-bye. Then I minus the exponent, negative 6, which is 3. So it's x to the 3. Just put it somewhere so you know where it is, okay? Then I can also cancel my y's because I have a y on top and bottom. So y to the 2, y to the negative 3. Negative 3 is a lot smaller. So I'd minus negative 3. Now that's actually 5 because 2 minus negative 3 is 5. Okay, so you get to cross that out and put 5 in. Okay. It's on top. The one on the bottom went bye-bye. Minus negative 3, and that's a 5. I know I'm doing a lot of scribbling, but you kind of have to so you see what power you have. So on top, okay, so here's what I have. 7 to the second, that's stay. Y to the fifth, that's positive, that's a stay. If you don't want to write stay, that's fine. Now on bottom, we still got that x to the third, okay? It's positive, that's a stay, okay? Means it stays on bottom, okay? Remember to put the 3 where it belongs over here. I know you had to use another side, but yeah. Okay, so on top, I simplify 7 to the second. That'd be 7 times 7. That would take that to 49. That'd be a 49, and then times my variable, y to the fifth. X to the third. Okay, now down on bottom. So we got a dot times, and then a power. Put times after your power if there's nothing there. That's a positive 3, positive 2, times 5, times x to the third, times y with the second. Alright, so I got a 2 times an x times a y times a 5. Now when I get to my variables again, that's a repeat, so I plus, and that's a repeat, so that's a plus. Okay, nothing on bottom. So 2's to the 1 in a parentheses, so 1 times 2 is 2. So 2 to the second. Now x, there's got to be 2 of them because you wrote a plus sign. Okay. So negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Okay. And then there's got to be another x to fill in the second behind the plus sign, so 3 times 2 is 6. So negative 4 plus 6 is 2. So this becomes a 2. Okay, now y, got to be 2 of them because we wrote a plus sign. Okay, so 3 times 2 is 6. And 1 times 2 is 2. So 6 plus 2 is 8. Now 5, okay, 5 to the 1, okay, 1 times 2 is 2. Okay, so that's what we have, nothing on bottom, bottom's clear. So I can simplify the 2 to the second, not the x to the second, or not, we're not simplifying yet, we're doing switch stay, that's a stay. I think they're all stay. That's a stay, x to the second. Y to the 8th is a stay, because it's positive 8. 5 to the second is a stay. Okay, which of those can we evaluate? This one, not that, and this one. So 2 to the second is 2 times 2, that's 4. And 5 times 5 is 25. So down here on top you put 4 times 25. And then you put the variables. Now I can times till I get to the x, so 4 times 25 is 100. Bottom's clear.